24 hours for you.
Oh, I know. You guys, Facebook had a major outage yesterday. I woke up to it because I'm in California. I'm on the West Coast. And I woke up to it. And so the freak out had mostly already happened before. So we had to delay all the lives till today. This was all supposed to go on yesterday. So thank you everyone who waited around and is still here today. Okay, the next component of the collection is the Swedish Posy mold. And this is the mold in the package, but I'm going to go ahead and take this out and I'll show you guys this. I'm going to use this on this project.
Did you just open that?
Well, I hate taking it out of the package. It feels like it's not new anymore. Like I'm pretty much going to ruin it because we are going to use this on this project here. So this is what the mold looks like out of the package. It's got several components to it. It's got a large medallion on it. It's got some smaller little circles that could be used as little accent pieces. And then this is a trim mold. And I like this one because it's got staggered corners. And then you can connect them with the larger trim.
Oh, game on. She won't ruin it.
Yeah, I feel like I do. I feel
Challenge accepted.
You know, I don't know. There's something about a brand new mold. Like, I don't want to touch it. Swedish girl. Right? Swedish girl?
I don't know. Yeah, I'm really asking.
If I remember right, that's what it means, which it would go with the Swedish Posy collection, Svenska. I also have out one of her newer colors called Cambrian Blue. And this is in her satin paint, which is her all-in-one paint that doesn't require a top coat, but you can use it in conjunction with her chalk paint. So I used that.
Looks like Sharon. Sorry, it looks like Sharon's coming on with the jokes.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Did she say that piece was rough like Sean, or did I hear that wrong?
It was rougher than Sean.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's how rough this piece was. I mean, this is one of those pieces that I've never had one before like this, where I honestly was like, I don't know if this is even worth doing. But I think in the end, I'm super happy with how cute it's turning out, and it's going to be it's going to be like a character piece. It's going to have a little more character. It's going to be more like whimsical and fun, I think.
Is this for a child or a...
Can you hand me that stool right there?
Or a little person? It's so small.
It could be. I see them where you would either put like a stool, and this would be like stool height right here. You could sit knees in at the desk. Or you could even put like pillows on the floor if you wanted to. I think I might stage it with some pillows on the floor. I just think that would be really fun and casual. Could certainly be like a child size, but with a big bold mirror over the top of it, I think it could be really cute. So that's kind of my plans for it. So the first thing I want to do, because it takes a few minutes, is let's go ahead and cast the Swedish Posy mold, and I'll show you how I plan to use this on my project. So I'm going to cast this using some Amazing Casting Resin. And Amazing Casting Resin is a 2-part casting resin. Mine I pour into like condiment containers, and I just get these at a Dollar Tree. Walmart also has them. I have 2 different ones right now because the yellow, the part B, tends to wear the containers a little bit faster, so I have to replace that one usually.
Oh yeah, let us know where you're watching from today.
Oh, yeah,
I'm in Northern California.
Come and say hi. We're in California. Okay, so this is a 2-part casting resin, and the part of my mold that I want to cast is I'm actually going to use this larger medallion here. And I actually am going to use this a few times. I'm not going to add any color to this with mica powders because I think I want to paint it to match the body of my piece. So I will paint it afterwards. So I've got out my 2-part casting resin. I have out little measuring cups, and I'm going to pour equal parts into my little measuring cups. If you're unsure how much resin to mix, you can put a little bit of water into your mold and then pour it back into your measuring cups, and that will tell you how much you need to mix overall. I just kind of have an idea after mixing roughly, I don't know, like 1 million molds, how much resin I'm going to need. And then I'm going to take my equal parts and I'm going to pour them into 1 cup together. So that was my part B. Now I'm going to pour my part A in here. And nothing happens until they get into the same cup together. Once they're in the same cup, my clock starts. This is a 10-minute casting resin, so it's got a full cure time of 10 minutes. So I'm going to stir for about 30 seconds. And I just look for it to look like it's an even consistency, like those 2 colors have mixed together. And then I'm going to pour it into my Swedish Posy mold.
Don't mind me.
I always mind you.
This is true.
All right, I actually mixed a little too much, so I'm gonna make one of these little medallions too. I never let my resin go to waste. I will always pour whatever excess I have. And if I have extra, I made one of those little circles too, and then I just store those and I can use those on a later project. So now I'm gonna let this sit and it's gonna start turning white. And while this is curing, I'm gonna go ahead and we're gonna work on my project. So very carefully, I'm gonna set that over to the side and let's get to work on this project. So I plan on using the decoupage paper on these front drawers. I already have it on the sides. I will show that to you. I'm a little nervous if I turn it that I'm going to hit my casting resin. So I want to put it on these drawers. So I'm going to go ahead and pull this drawer out. And how I prepared my drawer is I sanded this as smooth as possible. It's got a little bit of Bondo patch on it. I mean, it was rough, guys. And I primed it. So I've got a primer on here. I used a light gray primer. White is what's recommended to get the most saturated colors from your paper. You can kind of tell if I put this against a colored background, it's lightly translucent. So it's going to pick up whatever colors I have behind it. If I put that white behind it, or in this case, I'm going to use the light gray, I will get a little bit of the undertones of that light gray popping through. So now I'm just playing around with my paper and I'm just looking at kind of what designs I have on this piece. And I feel like I really like this bold flower here. And so I want to capture that on this drawer. So I'm going to arrange my paper so that I capture as much of that as I possibly can. So I kind of dry fit it. Once I get my placement set up, now I kind of know where I want it. The other thing I want to mention is this is the A1 paper from Redesign. This is a really nice quality paper. It's got nice durability to it, so it's not going to tear. It's got a light fabric-y feel. I'll show you guys what the texture looks like up a little bit closer. So it's got a light fabric-y feel to it. And the A1 papers are very soft. There's also the Decoupage fiber papers. And those have a little more of like a waffle texture to it, but this one is a very soft, smooth paper. What I'm going to use to put this on is my Decoupage gel from Redesign with Prima. So this is their Decoupage gel. This is the matte. It also comes in a gloss. Mine is almost gone because I use it a lot. But you'll be super relieved to know I have another one out here somewhere, right here. So I do have another one, so we might need to dip into this and then I'll get into my second one too. So I'm going to use a pretty small brush on this. And this one has a nice handle so I can dip down here into the bottom. And I'm going to spread a pretty nice even coat of my decoupage gel onto the front of my drawer. I want to get it pretty even. This is going to be the base for my paper. I don't need to glob it on. I just want to get a nice even coat. And I'm going to work only one drawer at a time. So I wouldn't want to go and do the entire front of this. I'm just going to do one drawer at a time. And then I'm just going to smooth out those brush strokes. And that gives me a nice even coat of the decoupage gel. I'm going to take my paper and I'm going to put it on in its existing size. I'm going to match up. I've got a nice factory edge here, which has a my 90-degree corner on it. And I'm going to match that up to my drawer. I'm going to capture that big posy that I want on there. Hopefully get it nice and straight, but no promises. Get it nice to the edge. Now, one thing I want to show you on this paper is if I messed up this placement and I don't like it at all, I can do this. And that is a huge luxury with papers. If you've worked with different papers, you know, to be able to pull it up. Now, because I did that, I didn't do it because I messed it up. I really just wanted to show you guys that I can reposition it. And I would just freshen up my decoupage gel, get that nice and even again, because some of it does pull away with the paper. Okay, so I'm going to get that nice and even again. So if you did need to move it, that's a huge luxury. It's really beginner friendly because it has that feature. And then I'm going to go ahead and place it back down again. So you can see how easy that was for me to make a mistake. It's a great paper to learn with if you're new to laying papers. Very, very, very forgiving.
So how beginner friendly? Can I do it?
I legitimately think Sean could do this. Do you guys want me to put
Is
Sean?
Is it so easy a caveman could try?
Sean in front of the camera and I'll have him show you.
I'm good.
Yeah, he's like, Sean just got this look on his face.
What the?
Like absolute terror. Okay, and then I'm going to take, this is the scraper from Redesign with Prima, and I'm going to flatten out my paper. This also kind of seats it into that decoupage gel that's underneath. And you're going to feel it. I can go over it with my hands and I can feel it sort of saturate that paper. And that's kind of what I want it to do.
Oh, I'm really digging these close-ups on your carpet.
Yeah, let's avoid
it's
those.
Really nice.
I know.
I'm looking for an body outline.
I need some higher up pieces because my flooring, this is an old carpet, but it is a drop cloth at this point. I made it into a drop cloth. And then I'm going to take a fairly abrasive sanding sponge. I think this is an 80 grit.
Oh, you're abrasive.
Well, you're just mad because I threatened to put you on camera. And I'm going to take my sponge and I'm going to pull down on this paper and I'm going to sand away. And this is going to give me a nice clean edge that goes right to the edge of my drawer. I'm pulling down because if you saw back and forth, this is a fiber paper, so it's got little fibers in it. You're going to tend to make it want to fray. So if I pull down, I'm going to get a nice clean edge, and then I can just, it perforates it, and I can just pull away that little edge. I'm going to turn it and do my other side. You can wait for your decoupage gel to dry. I'm doing it while mine is still wet with no issues. It's really nice and easy to do. And same thing up here on the top of my drawer. Now I will go ahead and paint this drawer top, but I waited to get my paper on here so that I have a nice edge on the paper, and then I'll just fill that in with my paint so that I have a nice clean edge on my drawer top. So that's my drawer front. So it's all clean, nicely laid, and then I'm going to come back over the top of it also again with my decoupage gel. This time I'm going to sort of massage it into the paper, like a gentle massage, not like a hot stone, more of a Swedish posy.
I mean, since it's, you know,
since it's the Swedish posy collection. So I'm gonna massage it into that paper, and you can kind of see that it saturates the paper. Oops, I got a little piece of my excess there. It saturates the paper, and I want it to do that because I want it to go through and marry with that gel that's underneath. So they'll find each other, and then they're gonna create a nice, they're gonna encapsulate this paper from the bottom all the way up through the top. Okay, so once I've got a nice coat and I feel like it's good and massaged into that paper, and then I'm gonna come through and I will clean up my brush strokes. And this will be my sealant on here as well. Now I'll let this dry. I usually do 2 coats of the sealant. So I usually like 2 coats over the top. Now let's say I'm sealing this piece in a matte clear coat or a gloss clear coat even, and I want the sheen to match. I could now, after my decoupage gel dries, I could come back and take my same sealer that I'm going to use over the top of my chalk paint, and I could use it over the top of my paper now as well. So I just used the decoupage gel to seal it and encapsulate that paper, and now I can come back and put that any of my other clear coats over the top of that. Okay, so if I put this in, you can see kind of what my project starts to look like. This drawer is a little bit different. This one's got a pattern on the bottom, so let's go ahead and pull this one out, and I'm going to decoupage this as well. Let's check on my resin. So now my resin has started to set up. It's turned white. I have a little bit of translucency around the edges, which means I don't feel like this is fully dry and ready to come out, but just in that few minutes that I did that one drawer, I've already got my mold. You can also feel it's a little bit warm. You can kind of test it and flex your silicone mold and see if it starts to pop away, and it doesn't want to, so I'm not going to force that. It still needs a few more minutes. And so let's work on this center drawer. This one needed quite a bit more Bondo. You can see in my underneath the primer, you can see how the primer took a little bit differently to the different areas, and this was rough, guys. She was rough. It's gonna be a super cute little piece though. All right, this is the same process, and I think the more you do this, the more comfortable you get with this.
Well, sorry for the camera angles. This new
I got a new tripod, guys. I might have broken my other one when I was spraying, and I just straight knocked it over. So this decoupage gel is actually going further than I thought. I thought for sure I'd run out on that first drawer. So same thing, I spread out a coat. Now I'm going to smooth out my brush strokes. And I think I have enough on this existing piece. Oh! On the top of my piece. Can you throw me a rag? Any, like, just really... Yeah, your shirt that you have on is fine.
Yeah. Yeah.